we should go over this real quick. It is here. So a lot of people put out this narrative about that, like, oh, well, you know, if you're gay in Palestine, if you're gay in the Gaza Strip or the West Bank, they throw you off a building and kill you. Well, anyway, here's an organization called Queers in Palestine, from queer people who live in the occupied West Bank and in the Gaza Strip. Here's their official statement. We refuse the instrumentalization of our queerness, our bodies, and the violence we face as queer people to demonize and dehumanize our communities, especially in service of imperial and genocidal acts. We refuse that Palestinian sexuality and Palestinian attitudes towards diverse sexualities become parameters for assigning humanity to colonized society. We deserve life because we are human, with the multitude of our imperfections, and not because of our proximity to colonial modes of illiberal humanity. We refuse colonial and imperialist tactics that seek to alienate us from our society and alienate our society from us on the basis of our queerness. We are fighting interconnected systems of oppression, including patriarchy and capitalism, and our dreams of autonomy, community, and liberation are inherently tied to our desire for self-determination. No queer liberation can be achieved without settler colonization, and no queer solidarity can be fostered if it stands blind to the racialized, capitalist, fascist, and imperial structures that dominate us. So again, don't be using the fact that there's a conservative bloc within the Gaza Strip and within, like, the West Bank. Don't be using that conservative idea towards queer people as an excuse to justify the massacres of Palestinians. Again, if support of LGBTQ people was something that justified mass violence against certain groups of people, then in the United States, we long ago should have wiped out every single Republican. Every person who votes Republican should have been just mass executed, if that was the standard we were using. But it's not, and it should not be. Okay? Does that make sense, Roy Blum? Also, chat, no need to dogpile, okay? They're showing us what they are going to do to the rest of us economically. Maybe you can elaborate on that, Kawazar. I just keep getting this question, like, oh, you're trans. What do you think about all of the violence towards trans people from, like, Muslim nations? It's really weird to me that none of the people who come into this chat ever ask about all the violence towards trans people from, like, Christians in the country I live in. It's very strange to me. As if, like, there's not a colossal conservative bloc among evangelical Christians in America. As if like when I drive through non-metropolitan areas in America, I feel perfectly safe because rural areas are just so welcoming of LGBTQ people. Like, are you kidding me? I have to, like, look up whether or not it's okay for me to hold my partner's hand in, like, slightly rural areas around where I live. And you're like, oh, well, do you think that, like LGBTQ bigots should be mass executed? And my answer is still no. It's because they want to weaponize your identity against the brown people to let it fuel racism. I mean, yeah, true. The US has travel advisories for those very reasons. Yeah,